Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Army Men of War. So this is a bit different from the average episode of Army Men of War. It is more of a story time, and we've not done a story time in a long while. So I have just been gone for like 2 days, and I've not really had the time to do any battles or anything. So I thought, let's get you all up to date with what's happened in the story so far. So currently we are overlooking Greenington, which is the capital of Greenland. And we can see everything that's happened to date. We can see all the units that King Greenland up there, look, and Donald Grump have been producing. He shouldn't be there now. He should be back in the human dimension. Let's just delete him because we need to send him back to the human dimension. There we go. He's back in the human dimension because he's the president of the Green Colonies. And what it is, in the series so far, the two dimensions are the same story, but they're separate at the same time. I know that's hard to explain, but what it is the army men have the ability of interdimensional travel, and don't ask me how. I'm still figuring it out with the lore myself, but it's a sort of magic, and they can open portals and locate and conquer other dimensions, and they just by chance, like a 1 in a billion chance, found the human dimension, and they've been using the human dimension to sort out all sorts of technologies and all things like that. So yeah, that's how they earn plastic and also gain reputation within the kingdom of Plastica, and that's what I've called this land. This land is Plastica. I tell you what, we're going to get up a map right here, and it will show you all the different borders, all the different colours that we have on Plastica. So here's a map right here. You can see right there we've got Greenington, and we've got all the different names of the cities, and that's all that we have so far. And like I say, this isn't just my series, I like you guys to get involved as well. So we can see to the right there we have Tangeria, that's a desert, and that is the Republic of Tangeria. And I tell you what, let's close the map, there we go. And now we can go over to Tangeria, which is right over here, look. And we can see that it's mostly desert, and this is known as the Republic of Tangeria because it used to belong to the Tan Empire. So I'm just going to get up a little thing right here, and I'm going to read you guys a bit of the lore so far that we have. So this right here is called the aftermath of the First Great Plastic War. So after the First Great Plastic War came to a halt, all nations signed something called the Great Armistice, and it divided the lands among all of the leaders. So the leaders are like King Greenland over here. He's like 1,000 years old because plastics don't age in my story. Where's he gone? Where's Greenington gone? Is it over here? No, oh look, no, that's Valleyput. We'll come to that in a minute. And like I say, they don't age, and they have to colonize other dimensions. Otherwise, their population would get too high, and they'd overuse their resources. And you guys know how overpopulation works. So yeah, King Greenland and all the other leaders of the world, which I've not come up with names yet. So if you guys want to help me out and send me some names, yeah, they all came together and formed the UNP. Which is the UPN, should I say, which is the United Plastic Nations. And because the Greens won the first Great Plastic War, and we're talking this is like 200 years before, and they had muskets and things like that, so we could be seeing a prequel in the future. And the King Greenland was named High King of all nations, High King of the UPN. And the UPN has a table in Greenington, so that's why it's a very old-fashioned looking town. Because it's like, it's like 1,000 years old, this town is, in my story anyway. And the table is inside the palace itself. They all sit around it. You might have seen it in episode 1. And all the leaders came over to the table. They all agreed to sign this armistice. So the Blues ended up battling against the Reds in the First Great War. And what they did was they divided. Blues ended up taking quite a lot of Red territory. And the armistice, that when they signed it, they divided their country into two. You can see the two walls right here, and this area right here is known as the neutral zone. So we'll get that up on the map right here, look, and you can see the white area depicted right here. It says neutral zone, and that no soldiers are allowed to be deployed in this zone, apart from in the city, because this city right here is red, is controlled by the Red, and this city is controlled by the Blues. So this does have meaning. It's a bit like, what would you guys say, like East and West Germany during the Cold War. Something like that, but we're talking like 200 years before. That's why it's like a medieval wall sort of thing. And then we go up here and we go to the Red Union. That's what we decided to call them. And you guys have a lot of say in this series. It's not just me. I like you guys to get involved. And what I've just done is I've just dropped a Discord, so there is going to be a link in the description if you guys want to come and join the Discord. And it's just full of roleplay, and you know, you can make some friends, and you can even join a nation and give me ideas for my series. So go and check that link out in the description. The more members, the better, you see. So anyway, we've got Red Union. This is the capital, and we've decided to name it Redingrad. And Redingrad is basically it's the biggest city in the whole of the Red Union. And there is going to be other cities, but I've not built them yet. I think there's going to be one there, and there's going to be other little towns and villages everywhere as well. So like I say, the Reds in the story at the moment are on full alert, and so are the Blues, because of a proxy war which is being battled out in Istanbul. That's it. Sorry, I'm stuttering my words a bit there. But the Blues and the Greens are now fully retreating from Istanbul into their boats, and they've started funding a rebellion, and that's where it takes us over here to Viet Thanh. And you can see the transition here from the Reds land, the Red Union. So this would be some sort of like communist China, this area right here, and it would be going into like Vietnam, but this is known as Viet Thanh. A very similar name, but pretty cool. So this is going to be Tanoi. No, this is going to be Saigon, and over here we're going to have Tanoi. So we're going to have the north and the south, and what they're going to be doing is the Greens and the Blues are going to be funding the south, and the south is going to separate from the north. And I'm thinking the Reds might be funding the north, and like I say, the Tangerians are going to be battling it out against the Tans. So we saw in one of the previous videos a little guerrilla warfare going on a convoy that was passing through one of these roads right here. And I'm in love with this. Look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. It looks like a proper jungle. So that's Viet Thanh right there. This is brand new. I've literally just built it. And further down here, which has not been built yet, oh look, there's the fleet which retreated from Valiput. This is going to be Pearl, this right here, and it's going to go over in that direction. So I'll get up a picture right here, and this is what Pearl's going to look like. So you can see the lip of Pearl right there, and I'm going to extend the map and make it out to look a bit like this. So look at that. That's pretty cool, right? I like the look of how Pearl is shaped, and it's going to be a pirate isle. So the purples are going to be part of the series very soon, but they're going to be more like pirates, like they're going to rule the seas. And there's a good part of the lore where the armies of Plastica won't travel too far in the seas, and the only ones that do are known as the Greys. And if we go over to the Greys, and I think what do we call this? Growl, that was it, Grawl. And this is the Graulic Islands, and it's a bit of an archipelago covered in snow and ice. And this is where the Greys are from. And we can see the capital city, which is on a central island, and it's surrounded by other islands which are also owned by the Greys. So this is also brand new. I do have a lot more to write in the lore about this, but you guys will have to tell me in the comments what would you like to add to it. And also, like I say, join the Discord. I can see everybody's comments there, because it's hard to keep track of them on YouTube, you see. So that comes down to what is going on over this side now. So like I say, we've got the, what's this called? Fort Tan, and that was it, Fort Tan. So if we get the map up again right here, look, we can see Fort Tan, and I'll put a circle around it. And Fort Tan, it used to be part of the Tan Empire. So that's why it's called Fort Tan. And let's see if I can get a picture right here, and see if I can separate the Tan Empire from the Orange Republic of Tangeria, and you can get a good insight to see how big it was in the First Great Plastic War. So there we go. And then further down here we have the Millie Mountains. This has been named, and this is a top secret airbase / research facility of the Greens. And we can see a couple of silos there. They've not researched nuclear missiles or the jets yet. They're just there as a representation of what the place is. And also the border, we can see on the borders as well all of the bunkers, so we can see the different coloured bunkers there. They're not necessarily going to be that colour in the battle, but I've just done that just so we can see how defended the borders are. And that takes us down to Valiput, and you guys have saw a lot from Valiput, and we can see one of the generals there. That is, unfortunately, that isn't General Grattan anymore. General Grattan is currently unconscious in a field hospital somewhere on the front line. So whether he survives or not is up to you guys, so let me know in the comments. And like I say, Valiput is a port city, and it used to be the most defended city in the whole of Greenland. But it's not so much anymore, because the Orange Navy came down earlier, didn't they? With Sultan Rumek, and they failed utterly. They completely failed. They did, don't get me wrong, they dealt a lot of damage. Why is there a green plane there? Let's delete that green plane. That doesn't need to be there, man. So, yeah. So that's pretty much everything up to date at the moment. I think I've got a little bit more to read to you guys, and like I say, it's a very sketchy video today, but it's been a while since I've made any sort of story time. So anyway, let's get the lore up. Where's the lore? There it is. Okay, so King Greenland and his armies had conquered almost all of the Tan Empire, and he reigned supreme as the supreme nation for quite some time after the First Great War. This is 200 years before. The Blutanians also conquered half of the Red Union, and they built that big wall like I showed you guys. The Greys just got back on their ships and sailed home, and they got known as the Quiet Nation because they didn't really conquer any more territory or really try and get any reputation, you know, as countries do, try and assert their dominance like the other countries were. So they got known as the Quiet Nation. So the UPN was formed, and King Greenland, as the head of the UPN, saw it fit to return all of the lands to the Tan people, as the Tan people have always been very rebellious, and we're going to be seeing a lot of that in the upcoming videos, especially with this giant proxy war which is about to happen. So let me know in the comments as well, what do you think about that? Do you guys like the idea of a proxy war? If not, do let me know, and if the comment gets the most, if whatever comments get the most upvotes, you see, is the ones I'll pay most attention to. So upvote the comments that you want to be, you know, more addressed in the series. So in the next 200 years, the joint plans were drawn up to use the land's ability of interdimensional travel, like I said, right? And the objective was to locate and colonize other worlds that are fit for plastic habitats. But not only had technology improved, bringing in automobiles to the tech trees, but also had all the leaders' egos. They were all raring for war because their populations and their militaries were so big, they just wanted war. And with every plastic nation, they all competed for dominance, can't say it, and reputation, and they all got hungry for power and credits. And the currency in the plastic world is plastic credits. And plastic credits are mined from plastic ingot. And plastic ingot is not something that's found in this dimension. It is a brand new thing, and it's actually mined from the human dimension because the humans have a huge abundance of plastic. And that gives the plastic soldiers the ability to reproduce. They found new ways of reproducing and everything. So like I say, the populations were getting too high in the land of Plastica, and they needed to find new ways of increasing their economic standings and reputations. So they looked to creating colonies and found new ways of reproducing. And from there, they sent human archives, which were actually World War II army magazines, back home to scientists, and they bettered their technologies. They made better their technologies and their military power, as well as mining the ever so rare plastic ingot, which is worth a ton of plastic credits back in the plastic dimension. So I am reading this from a post that I put on the Army Men of War official Discord. So like I say, there's going to be a link in the description if you guys want to join it. So the question of colonization still stands in their own lands, which does mean that there is unexplored lands which the greens, the purples, the oranges, every nation has not discovered yet. But every nation, apart from the greys and the purples, are scared of exploring new lands because a lot of them believe that the earth is flat. Their world is flat. And that was actually submitted by one of you guys. I can't remember which one of you guys did it, but that was actually an idea in a live stream that I got. And yeah, they're scared that the world is flat, just like the people in the human world, you know, was it Christopher Columbus and all people like that? When they set sail, they actually believed that the world was flat for some time until they found out that it was round. So that's kind of realistic to the human world as well as the plastic world. So, like I say, currently we have the UPN, and the UPN is a ancient sort of democracy of leaders, a bit like the what were they called? A bit like the Illuminati, should we say? The Freemasons. That's what I wanted to say. And they founded pretty much the whole of Plastica. And this is pretty much the aftermath. Everything you see here, all the wars that are going on, is the aftermath after everything that's going on. And that now brings us to the oranges. Why are the oranges here? And that's because during the Great Plastic War, which is season 1, there's like 60 episodes of it, right, in the human dimension. During the Great War over there, the Tan Empire actually fell to Sultan Rumek, who he gained power and he overthrew the government of the Tan world, and he brought the Oranges back because they have like an ancient claim to the Tan Empire. And that's when they became the Republic of Tangeria, because the Tans pretty much went bankrupt, the Tan Empire did, and they lost all of their colonies. And that's when the colonies in the human dimension were actually supposed to be passed on to Sultan Rumek by legal birthright in my story, and they didn't. The Greens and King Greenlin and all those guys, they decided not to, and that's what triggered the first episode of season 2. It was Sultan Rumek sending in some assassins to try and take on Greenlin, because Sultan Rumek believes he's invincible. He's just a big, giant, brave douchebag, really. And he believes he's invincible. I can't say it properly. Now I sound like Sean Connery. What's going on? So anyway, I think that's pretty much all I have to say so far. I am going to be doing more of these story times, and I'll be doing them in more great detail in the future. So let me know what you want me to improve on in the comments. Maybe we could do some like cool cinematics and stuff, and maybe get some more art and stuff up. So like I say, join the Discord, and that's pretty much all I've got to say really. So hit that like button if you enjoyed this sort of video, and also smash that subscribe button. I think we're well on our way to 19,000 subscribers now, so that's really, really cool. Really excited to get to 20,000. So a big thank you to everyone, and I will see you guys in the next video.